Welcome, this is the Student Voice. I am Brandon Watson, Editor-in-Chief of The Communicator. Small businesses are a defining characteristic of Chattanooga, and our city boasts an eclectic mix of independently owned and operated businesses. And Infinity Flux, joining me today, is put together by two childhood friends that came together under one mutual passion for comics and tabletop games. And the co-owner here, John Porter, and his assistant here, Krista Burnette. How y'all doing today, guys?
Doing great.
Yeah, we're doing well. How are you?
Now tell me about John, how you got into this business with your co-owner here.
Comics? Well, the business side, or what got me into the hobbies and such at
Well,
first?
what got you into the business of it?
It was something that Hickson didn't have at the time, and it was something that we both really enjoyed and were passionate about, so we came together and started it up.
And how'd you get involved with them, Krista?
Well, I'd actually been coming, I saw the flyers on campus, so I started coming and visiting for a few months, and then eventually I was like, I love the atmosphere here. It's, way different than working, some other retail job, in a big business. So I walked in with my resume and begged them to hire me, and then I heard back a few weeks later, and it's been great.
So the resume was enough where you had to beg for a job at a comic book store? What got you into the gaming thing there, John?
First, it was the comics, mainly Spider-Man, which was first comic issue that I gotten, and as I was going to comic shops, as I was younger, American Comics and Cards was the one that I went to. I just saw all the other games and hobbies, and that's what kind of pulled me into the rest of them.
Awesome. Did you ever think you would be opening up your own business and supplying a venue for these gamers?
No, I really didn't. It just, whenever it happened, it was kind of a dream come true. It was really, really awesome.
And tell me, you didn't take out a loan or anything else like that. How did you put up the capital to get in?
Saving, a lot of saving. Even though I have a lot of hobbies, most of them tend to be fairly inexpensive, and working, restaurants or factories, whatever I'd done previously, I'd always like to put back a lot of money. And doing that, I think in any situation is good, is very, very useful.
Awesome. So Krista, what got you into gaming?
Well, I specifically started with wargaming in Warhammer 40K.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look at this thing here. Warhammer 40K Codex. So this is the one you started on right here.
Yes, that's what I started on.
What drew you to this type of thing?
It keeps coming back to the community. I started off at UTC, I wanted to make a lot of friends, and some of the friends that I made were really into Warhammer 40K, and the more I started hanging out with them, the more drawn into it I was, because it's not, just a game that you play and you don't put any thought to. You put so much thought into it, from the painting to building your list, and then it's so tactical and strategic. So I've really loved it. There's just so many different dynamics to it.
Awesome, and you did the paint job on this little guy right here then, huh?
Yeah, he's pretty great.
So how much time did you put into something like that?
A typical model will take me about a day if I just do one, but the more you do it, the faster you get.
Really?
So.
And this one's one you did right here, John?
Yes, he is still a work in progress. He has most of the base layers down. There's a lot more detail work that can go into a model, especially some of the larger ones, which tend to be more centerpieces for your army.
Okay. And then about how much resources do you got to put in to maintain a certain hobby like this? Is it very consuming with your money? Or?
It doesn't tend to be. Now, with something like this, it depends on one, where you start and how big you want your army to be. If you start with just a unit or two and slowly build, time-wise, because as she said, to do a model like this takes about a day. Inside a box will come about 10 models. So that's 10 days worth of hobby that you have. And that's, just free time. So for that, the price point is actually pretty cheap if you just slowly build and amass your models.
Well, I can think of a million other ways to spend my money than sitting there working on little projects. I guess you'd be shut in for a while working on these things. Now, there's a big misconception that a lot of guys and gals collect in a basement and hunch over these tables and throw dice. But from visiting your store, I've noticed that it's very bright, very open, and people just walk on in and pick up a game. Was that something that has always been part of the gaming culture, or something that y'all have cultivated at the store?
A little bit of both. It is something that we definitely wanted to cultivate in our store. We wanted to have a community where someone can walk in, not know anyone, feel welcome, be invited to play a game, whatever it is. And it's something where I do think that there is that misconception sometimes of, oh, they're down in the basement, just no friends, nothing going on, where gaming and gamers actually have a pretty good community, which is very tight-knit.
Absolutely, and you have informed me about the community outreach that you've done through some of your gaming tournaments. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, now, whenever it was probably about, I think, 6 months into opening up, we had a Settlers for Catan tournament, which all of the proceeds went to the Humane Society. We really are passionate about animals. We really care about them a lot, and that's a charity that we've wanted to help out because some of our friends also work there, and they tell us about some of the troubles that they have from time to time, and it just kind of worked together great.
Awesome. So, Krista, what do you like about working in a comic book shop?
The social aspect is just great. I feel like I'm such a people person. So even when I'm up at the counter doing, chores like bagging and boarding, it's great. People want to talk. They want to get to know you. They want to talk about your game or their games. And it forms a lot of really great relationships, really meaningful friendships.
Also, are you still enrolled in UTC right now?
I am.
What are you majoring in?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting take on it. So, any comic book themes? You plan on being a superhero, is what it is, right? Comic book store a day.
Yeah, specializing in loss protection, loss prevention.
Loss prevention.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I want to have you back in the future to see how things are going and promote any of the. You do have a community involvement game tournament coming up in the near future. What with Humane Society? With that, is there anything coming up on the horizon?
That is something that we have in the works. We haven't pinned down the exact date of it yet. Whenever we do, we will definitely let you know.
Absolutely, and please feel free to come on back and come by the show again. It's been wonderful talking with you, and we would love to see more from Infinity Flux in the future. And you can read more about John Porter and Infinity Flux comics, cards, and games in the September issue of The Communicator. And stop by their store on Hickson Pike, pick up a good read, or jump into a game. Let Infinity Flux be your place for comics, cards, and games. This has been The Student Voice. Until next time, stay awesome, my friends.